Yeah, I'm super excited to speak to you. Max told me a lot about you, and the topic of today, I want to discuss with you a little bit on how AI is changing people's behavior and what it means for communities, like fitness communities. Because, when everyone is spending more and more time on the phone, what people going to do? So there's this idea that communities like the ones you're building going to be very, very important.
Okay, so I'm Ivo. I'm 31 years old. At the moment, I'm at our office in one of our studios in the Ninth District stop in Vienna. And yeah, I've been building Shape by V together with my business partners about 8 years ago. At the moment, we are running 4 different studios in Vienna. And yeah, we've been building this throughout the last years, right from the scratch, actually. I remember when we've started, it's just been really a very, very small idea, but always a big belief. And we always knew that we can create something very special and very great about it. I think today, vision that we have had, or we had in the past, has basically really become alive. And this is where we are right now. This is where we're standing with a lot of ambition and motivation for what's coming next, especially also talking about, AI and all the development in technology. I think there's going to be a lot more to discover and to work on. I'm excited for it. That's basically our story.
Okay, cool. Yeah, thank you so much. So hi Ivo, I'm Pi or Pius. I'm 36 years old. Now we're talking about age. So you basically started with your own company when you were only 24. That was pretty early, wasn't it?
Exactly. We've started our company. When I say we, it's always me and my business partner. We were actually 3, and we started when we were 24. Yeah.
Okay. And what made you do it? What shaped you creating Shape by a Bee when you were young? Do you remember it? Were you always like, oh, I want to create a fitness community? Yeah, when you were 5 years old, you thought like, oh, I want to do that?
I think going back in history, especially of me, it's always been that I've been connected and attached to sports my entire life. I think my parents already raised me in a way that I always wanted to do sports. I used to play football, did some other sports too. And I think sports has always been my biggest passion and the field that I felt most comfortable in, and also where I thought I had not only physical, but also just my whole mental state has always been attached to sports. So I think this is where most of my inspiration came originally. And then moving on from there, from the age from 18 to 21, I started sports and exercise science. So I studied sports and exercise science back then. And then from there, I also had the pleasure to travel around the world with a different profession I did. I worked as a model for a few years. And back then, to stay in shape, to stay fit has also always been very important to me. And I had the pleasure to live in New York for approximately 2 years. And already there, I knew that I want to do something in sports. I just didn't know exactly what. And then in New York, I had a lot of inspiration from different boutique gyms and different concepts. Seeing that and observing that helped me to create the idea of Shape by Ivy. And then after I had all my inspiration and the clear idea, I spoke to Tom and Chris, my best friends, who were one of them living in Vienna, the other one also in the US, that I had this idea of this high intensity training with a very special atmosphere in a cool boutique gym. And I shared it with them. And then from there, I think we just went off. We started a company called Shape by B. And back then we thought it makes the most sense if it's based on my name, simply because I'm coming from like this whole, modeling and social media world. And it helps us in a marketing way to position the brand. And
it's not wrong. Right? It's not wrong. It's true.
Yeah, it really is. And it's helped us already. 8 years ago, it came from, as I said, really from the scratch. We just started in a very, very little way in a tiny gym in Vienna. But we always knew where we want to be. We always had a very clear vision of our idea and what we would like to.
Where was the first gym?
It is and it was actually, it's not there anymore. It was in the Intercontinental Hotel in Vienna. Because before I started modeling, actually back then when I started studying sports and exercise science, I worked as a receptionist just 10, 12 hours as a receptionist in the gym within the Intercontinental Hotel in Vienna that had its own gym called Studium Stadtpark. I worked there as a receptionist. Then I went modeling. And after that, when I came back, that was basically our first step to collaborate with someone because I knew the people there. And this is where we originally started and founded Shape.
Man, that's so funny. I always walked by there. I didn't know if there's anything happening.
Honestly, I think they're not operating more anymore. I think during the COVID pandemic, they had to close. It was really just a little gym, not only for hotel guests, but also for outside customers. So they were a proper gym, but unfortunately, they didn't make it through the pandemic.
Yeah, that must have been hard. I mean, I lived abroad during this entire time, so for me, kind of missed it. I only went to your second gym, I guess, in the second district and on the ship.
Remember.
Yeah, I really loved it. Oh, I love it. I'm still a customer. Coming in with different accounts because I have to re-register, forget my emails, but I come back and pay.
But are you based in Vienna now? Like, are you living here now? Or?
No. Yeah. So basically, I run Subscribed. We create AI visibility layer for software companies. So our mission is to bring more human reviews and content about software companies to other people, so they discover the raw, real feedback about software. And I'm currently based abroad in Asia, and I used to live in Sydney. So I'm still planning potentially to go back. I don't know yet, but now I'm living here, building the company from here with my team in Asia.
Well, whenever you're back in town, I'm looking forward to seeing you at the gym again.
Yeah, and definitely. Now I'm going, actually right now I'm in Vilnius. I'm back on Saturday, and I will do maybe the Hyrox training, like I go F45 sometimes, but Shape by IP is much better. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, today the topic is really about fitness. I love being active. I think being active really transformed my life, like dedicating time to working out and stuff like that. Like, it wasn't even a health thing. I think it grounds me in a way on doing a lot of things. If I were not active in the morning every day, I don't know, I could achieve like maybe 10% of what I'm doing now. I know it's kind of crazy. So for me, it's really, really important in my life and makes me happy. It builds community. I meet my friends there and stuff. But about AI, I mean, now everyone is like using AI, exploring more and more things there, and it sucks. Like, people are more and more online. So, what is your view on how technology, and particularly AI, will shape the real human interaction? Because in the future, you're going to have like a virtual trainer or an AI trainer. Why would people still go to the gym? What's the reason? Why will you exist in 10, 20 years from now?
To be very honest, I think that's a very interesting and also challenging topic. I have a great example. When coming back to the COVID pandemic happened, we were just started renting our basically first own gym in the second district of Towerstrasse, Vienna. And back then, we're obviously putting all our effort, energy, everything into building the gym in Towerstrasse in Vienna. We were starting with the whole renovation planning. And right within that, COVID pandemic happened. So just with one instant, basically, we had to change our whole concept from an analog studio to an online training concept. We did so, and we started our own Instagram live workouts. That went very well. People were just at home. We're scheduling that every day at 6 p.m. with our Instagram live workouts. So people could attend our classes via social media and Instagram and could train with us, basically. After that, the COVID pandemic continued. And throughout that time, we actually built our own online training platform called Shape Workout Club, where we pre-recorded different workouts. We had longer workouts, low impact, high intensity trainings, pretty much what we know from all the online workouts and everything that's on the internet right now. We had our own Shape Workout Club. People could just pay a monthly membership to have access to all our different workouts we're producing. And in the beginning, especially during the lockdowns, it worked really well. People were training there. We had good numbers and everything. Then after the lockdowns were, slowing down a little bit, and the whole situation just released and relieved a little bit, we're opening up again. And after that, in the beginning, people were still using our Shape Workout Club, but I had a huge feeling of people wanted to go to the gym. They wanted to have human interaction, and they definitely wanted to have community. Now you can obviously say that was a different time, and after people were locked at home for a very long period, it was easier for us to motivate them to go to the studio. But I think it is a very good example about how people feel about it and if they really see themselves only working out online or not. And I think that's exactly the main point. I believe that AI can have a very good impact. Perhaps they're going to be virtual trainers in the future, but I'm 100% sure that a virtual trainer or online training will never replace human training, human impact, community. You want to have human exchange. And I think this is something that AI can improve to a certain extent, but it will not be able to fully replace it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I share this view as well. I mean, there's an exception when it comes to more addictive stuff, like OpenAI announced that they will support adult content, like basically porn. And I think this is different because it allows people to get entertainment. But I think, or maybe movies as well, it could be with AI created because it kind of makes you addicted in a way. But for workout, you have to actually put effort in first, right? So it's not like you want to make it easier to work out, and it doesn't get easier if you're sitting in front of a screen, very honestly. The good example for myself was when I used to work out myself years with a plan, like I would go running and then working out. And then as soon as I went to high intensity workout classes, I lived in Bondi, Sydney at the time. And for 7-8 years, I had my own schedule. And then I moved to this new schedule. It was called 98 Gym in Sydney. Like my entire life changed, like on how I saw workout, because it was so much more intense. I would get so much more benefits out of it. My health metrics increased a lot. My girlfriend at the time wasn't happy because of like, why do you work out? Like normally people work out before, not when they're in a relationship. No, but I love it.
No. I think that's also a lot about when you work a lot, when you're always under mental challenge and mental pressure as well. I think sports is probably the best way to release pressure, to do something for you, whether it's physical or mentally. It will always have a good impact in you and on you. Just one addition that I wanted to say to your question before, I think that AI will have an impact in people who want to, who don't want or who don't like group trainings and they like to train on their own, which is based on our analysis more men than women, because women are more attracted to group fitness than men, at least based on our experience.
Why is it? What do you think the reason is?
I think honestly, because I think men are more in a way, and they think more in the way that I can do it all on my own. I don't need support. I don't need a trainer. I can do it all this on my own. I want to do my own training plan. On one hand, I think women are also more, they go to the gym. It's kind of part of their lifestyle. They like to, meet friends, see other people, train with other people. So I think that has an impact on that too. But I think it's mostly that men are more likely to train on their own simply because that's the way they do it. And I think that most of them don't really see the benefit of having a coach or a group.
Is this like an Austrian thing or
I think it's more an Austrian thing, to be honest. Yeah. I think abroad it's a bit different. I think they are more open-minded. They also like to be more part of communities. But I think Vienna, it's still a bit conservative, still a bit old school, that men prefer to just go to the gym. They don't want to spend too much money when they think, okay, it's not worth it. Even though lately I can see a change, I can see that where more men are coming to our classes, more men like to go to training, particular in Hyrox. And I think AI, coming back to that, will be more a threat maybe for personal trainers than for group trainings, because group training is so much more than just a training. It's about community, it's about people, it's about human interaction. While I think personal trainer can more likely be replaced by, for example, a virtual trainer.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I never had a personal trainer really.
If I may ask.
To me personally, the benefits are, how should I say it? To me, there's no benefit having a personal trainer at all. Why is it? Because if I'm in a small group setting and I'm going like to Koi or 98 or wherever, I train much better because I see also the others who are at my level and making the progress, right? So it's like playing tennis and you're only with the coach. You never get better. It's not really comparable. So when I go in a small class with others, I can learn the cleans, I can learn all the movements, even for Hyrox. So for me, it is much better the benefit than working with another person out who then corrects me. It's more social. So it's like, but with the trainer, it feels like too unnecessarily intimate, right? Like that's one part. And the other part is, you you need to arrange the time, right? So with your gym, I know 7:30 a.m. every day, and no excuses have to be there. Okay, maybe I'm late because I'm tired, and you let me in into the next class, but there's like a schedule I need to jump on. So that basically sets my time, and there's a limit. Whereas with a personal trainer, you can do it whenever. So it actually, I think the limitation of the availability makes the group training more effective than the personal training. So I think usually a lot of the people I know who use personal trainers are not as fit as the ones who, from my experience.
That's very interesting. I agree on many points with you. I do think if you have a very good trainer and if you're dedicated to it, it can still be very beneficial, but I see your point.
I mean, it's like if you train really professionally, or I have friends who do bodybuilding, they need the personal trainer to correct. You know, they have like people who come in once or twice a week on the weekend, and they give them feedback, also nutrition particularly, make plans, nutrition normally. That's, I think, the point.
But that's already the pro level and more performance oriented.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think to me, AI and personal trainer, I totally see it, because if you already go by yourself to personal trainer, why would you do it? The trainer is always available. Maybe there will be also robots that train you and tell you what to do. But yeah, you're right. In Vienna, it's still like very different how gyms are. It's like time traveling. You know, when you go to New York or in Sydney, these type of gyms don't exist anymore. Like the John Harris, the Holmes Place, the way they run, it's just entirely different behavior. The way it is, I would say it's just very different. Yeah,
that's what I said. I think Vienna, in that sense, is still a bit conservative, and people have a different mindset. But I do see a change already, and I think it's gonna go way more that way.
Yeah, 100%. And you also now create your own technology and tools to make the bookings. You have your app. How did you build your app? Like, do you build it yourself? Did you use pre-existing software? You use ClassPass, then you used MyClubs. Like, how does it all work? Like, using all the technology in your mind.
What we're working with is Mindbody. You will probably know Mindbody, don't you? Yeah, we used to work with a software partner called Mariana Tech /SyncFit, which used to be, I think, the opponent of Mindbody. Then we changed to Mindbody simply because their offer and the service has been very good. And Mindbody is helping us a lot in a way that it really covers a lot of different fields, a lot of different things that we need. They also offer the Shape4Me application, so our app is developed with Mindbody.
Oh, really?
Yes, it is developed with Mindbody, so Mindbody offers an application service as well. So our software partner Mindbody is covering the bookings. It's also covering accounting. It's covering HR to a certain extent as well. So
that's crazy. I had no idea that it goes that deep.
They are actually providing all these different things, and that has helped us as well, especially when it comes to data tracking too, with their data bank, with all the tools, analytic tools. And this is our software partner, and it's doing very well. With ClassPass and MyClubs, we used to start with ClassPass many years ago. Actually, exactly. ClassPass, I think Mindbody bought ClassPass a couple of years ago. ClassPass, I think globally seen, ClassPass is a very good aggregator and a great platform. Just in our case in Vienna, the investment or the return on investment from ClassPass was not as high as what MyClubs could offer us. I think MyClubs has a very special positioning in Austria and Vienna. And they just offered us.
How is it better with MyClubs? So I don't understand it. So is it like they give more money or more, like, I don't need to know the details of the contract, but I'm always wondering, how is it possible there's no ClassPass in Vienna anymore? Like, what makes MyClubs so much better?
They're not in Vienna at all anymore.
Yeah, I mean, literally there's 5 vendors.
And not much happening, right?
Exactly. And when any tourist comes, they cannot use anything. Or if I'm coming from abroad. So I always loved Shape4Me because you were part of the ClassPass ecosystem.
Well, honestly, it was just a business decision. It's really that MyClubs has a lot of clients, and
easier.
ClassPass could not arrange and could not come near that level of MyClubs, to be honest. In Vienna, I think, as I said, globally they're fantastic and they're a very, very good access to many different gym partners. Just in Vienna, MyClubs is so strong that they couldn't compete with them, and it was truly just a business decision.
Oh, wow, so you're getting like much more traffic from them. Like,
more traffic, more clients, more bookings, and to be quite honest, in the end, more money as well.
And what do you care about occupation rate of the classes, right?
What do you mean? Sorry.
So you care about that your classes are full, and MyClubs does a better job in that, right?
Exactly. Occupation rate obviously has to be as high as possible. On that end, it is also very important to say that also for the energy of our classes, for the atmosphere, it's always better if you have fuller classes than not so hypo classes. I think for the coach, for the people who are attending, it's always a better experience if you're in a room with a lot of people than just a large room with not so many people. So yeah, no, the change to MyClubs has been a big improvement. I think you also, to be honest, have to be a bit careful with it, because you have to be careful that they're not taking your customers away from your platform to their platform when they see that they can easily access the classes. So you always have to be aware of that. But our communication with MyClubs is really good too. I think they're doing a very good job, and I'm happy that we are with them.
Yeah, that's nice to hear. Yeah, I love it. I mean, no, I don't like the MyClubs because it's so specific to Vienna. And also the entire fees and structure, you need to wait till you book and all of this. It's such a cumbersome experience as a customer. Imagine like sometimes I rock up at Shape by B and then I didn't know that you have to wait to confirm the register, but you register the night before. It's like there's no way it's before as a customer. So this part,
get in or not.
This part is like really frustrating.
I get that, and that's why I always say just book through us, through our app, and then you will always have your spot.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. That's what it is. Yeah. Then you, how many trainers do you have? Like 5, 10? Okay, that's really a lot. So,
yeah,
so how do you see them? Are they using AI? Do you use AI to schedule them? What role does AI play for you working with them or technology?
At the moment, everything runs through Mindbody, and at the moment we're also doing it through human communication. So when we onboard a new trainer, we ask them before about his or her availabilities. And then from there, we just try to add them to the schedule, find space. We also always take into consideration what timings, what workouts. We have 5, 6 different workouts are, the best fit for the new coach. At the moment, to be honest, we're not using AI that much in a way of coach onboarding or scheduling, but it is something that we have also been taking into one very important strategy point for next year, to work more with AI to see if AI can also feedback us data, what coach performs at what time, what workout with what coach performs at a certain time on a certain day, for example. So this is something that it's definitely on our mind, definitely something we would want to invest more and we would work more with. But at the moment, most of our communications within our team and our coaches is just when we meet or through WhatsApp.
Yeah, it's easier, right? The organizing the roster. Yeah.
I think at the moment it's more you're used to it and it works and it feels a bit. Sometimes, to be honest, the whole AI topic feels a bit. What's the right word for it? It just feels. It doesn't feel real under certain circumstances to me. You know what I mean? And this is something that I'm still debating, or that I'm still trying to figure out what's the best way for me to live with it and to work with it.
I mean, if you need it, you will find out, right? So if you need it, you will discover it. I mean, I'm pretty sure using Facebook ads for your company too. Or if there's AI in there, so you probably, if you don't see it, it's a good experience for you, right? Yeah, so
anyway.
I mean,
but just for us, AI, like to me, mostly AI feels like this. Okay, very hype ChatGPT, for example. Everyone's talking about ChatGPT, and you're right in there, and it feels like that's AI. But AI is obviously way more than that, and I think it's way more happening that we're all realizing it. But that's just very hyped, and I see like my marketing people, Chris Patrick, they're constantly working with ChatGPT. And I think it's a great tool. Don't get me wrong. Just sometimes I like to have or to make sure that we're still having our own human intelligence and experience too, and know-how.
Yeah, people also feel that you're human and not AI, right?
Correct.
And then you're doing a lot of stuff in Hyrox now, so that's a huge trend. And how do you incorporate this trend in Shape by B? Like, why do you Why do you care about it? And what is going on with Hyrox? Why is this so hip right now?
Going back in history about our history with Hyrox, I have to give Chris, my business partner, a lot of credits on that end, because he was the one who became interested in Hyrox, I think already in 2021, 22, around that time. And he was the one who participated for the first time at a Hyrox. I think it was actually in Vienna. Back then, I followed him. I was looking what he was doing. I saw him training for it, and he told me there is this new competition called Hyrox. And to be honest, I didn't know anything about it. And I thought in the first place, he's just crazy about something because he's a very, very great athlete. And he just stopped playing football, soccer, so he wanted to go into something else new. He wanted to compete on something. That's how he discovered Hyrox. And he was the one who participated for the first time. I watched it back then. And I saw it, and I saw all these crazy things that he did, I think 3-4 years ago. And I was thinking, like, that's like, okay, a cool thing. But I would have honestly never believed that it's going to blow up as good as it has done so far and will still do.
Me neither. Then, I had no idea when people were talking about Hyrox.
Yeah, no idea at all. And I saw it with him, and he got more and more into it. He was training more, and he really wanted to become a professional. And as far as I remember, at the beginning of last year, so actually at the beginning of this year and at the end of last year, or even in the middle of 2024, we started to work with Puma. And Puma is the global partner with Hyrox. So we used to work with Adidas, then we changed to Puma because we had a good deal. They really wanted to work with us. And from that moment on, with Puma, we obviously had a big focus on Hyrox. They were telling us Puma now is all about Hyrox, and they're really going into that. And then we had that location, the 6th district that we have just opened a couple of months ago, where we had a few legal problems in the past. Long story short, we had a location that we had to renovate it on like a very high scale. And throughout the renovation, Chris and I were talking, that was end of 2024 or like October 2024. What if we're building a Hyrox pop-up training club at our construction or during the construction, because the training room was basically already done. It was just everything else. And we are running that Hyrox pop-up through that construction. Now said, wherever this podcast goes public, legally seen, it's been a bit in the gray zone. But back then it worked out very well. People were loving it, and they had a great room and location to prepare for Hyrox, to train for it. And I also saw that in Vienna, there is no real opportunity or no real gym that offers just Hyrox training. We have one right now, which is called Zone Fit, I think, which used to be a CrossFit studio, and I think they've changed all of their services trainings to Hyrox, which make totally sense.
Because no one has ski-ergs. No one has ski-ergs.
No one has ski-ergs. No one has...
Yeah, I don't know. No one does ski-ergs here. I don't know why.
Yeah, surprisingly, people, even though it's become a big hype in Vienna too, I've seen now Hyrox gyms in Graz, I think. So everyone else except for Vienna. And then the Hyrox pop-up worked very well. More people from my team, including myself, also participated in the Hyrox in Vienna last year, February. And from there on, it was just, wow, like now I understand the hype. I love it, the competition, the feeling. I didn't have that feeling in a very, very long time. And I really enjoyed it, even though it was crazy hard. And then we just said, okay, the pop-up will soon end because we're renovating that gym to like a proper shape where we hit training gym. And then we were just looking for a new location. And then we had this option in the 4th district because one of my friends, he opened a matcha cafe on the ground level, and he had a very cool basement area. And he said, if we have any idea to do something in there. And then we said, actually, we have a great idea. We can do a little Hyrox box, Hyrox gym in there. And this is how we created our own Hyrox gym in the 4th district. Running right now, doing extremely well. So well that we're actually thinking, because it's quite small.
I know, I've been there.
Yeah.
It's a bit warm in summer. Yeah.
I know. The whole ventilation still needs a little bit of improvement, but it's working extremely well. People are loving it.
It's amazing. Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
That's where we're right now thinking. If there is any expansion next year, because 4 studios is already quite a lot of work, it will be something connected to Hyrox.
Yeah, I agree with it. That would be nice. Yeah, I'm actually Alicia. You met her. She's like 22 and she's completely crazy about Hyrox too. She's gonna go to the Singapore event end of November. And yeah, she just trains.
On your end, Asia, now your experience has Hyrox become a big thing in Asia already too?
Yeah, basically in Bangkok where I live, there's Hyrox training, so gyms have it in the schedule, like similar to what they have, like 7:30 CrossFit, 8:15 Hyrox. So they have it throughout the week. But basically everything it's needed is the gyms usually need to have a ski erg, bike, and rowing machine. So the concept 2 line. So that's what they need. And I think that's the problem. A lot of gyms have like different things, but actually just having concept 2 is probably the smartest decision. I've seen it also in Australia. Gyms only have concept 2 anymore 100% because I think the machines are very durable. They and then you can use it for everything anyhow.
You can use it for everything, and they're very very strong machines too, so they don't really break much, and like
exactly,
it's good value for money.
So in Asia it's everywhere, but what I see also in the gyms is when they open up, they usually have like one ski erg because they don't know, and then they need to rebuy it, and then they have different machine, and then it's kind of shit for them and for the customer because they don't have one line to maintain, but 2 different brands or 3. So that's kind of in Australia, this 98 gym, they train the rugby team and the very professional level. They have like also 10 gyms or so, an app. They poorly have concept 2, and it works really well in the beginning. What is going on there? Why do they have that? And it's so easy. It's always like good quality workout. As soon as they have anything else, like another brand, the quality is you feel it as a customer. You just feel it. I mean, in my case, but yeah, it's a big thing in Asia. It's popping up everywhere. In Bali as well. I haven't been in Bali in years, but there's also lots going on. Yeah, that and paddle. Paddle is the second one. Yeah,
paddle and Hyrox, true. Hyrox and Reformer Pilates are at the moment they're all enjoying a big hype.
Yeah, and ChatGPT when they're off. Yeah, no.
And ChatGPT, correct.
Yeah. So you combine like sport, entrepreneurship, modeling. What did you learn from modeling that helped you running a business? Because they're quite unusual career.
I think one of the highest value was how to connect with people, how to socialize, because you have to socialize a lot within the modeling world. You're always with people. One thing that makes me really strong that during the time has been extremely difficult for me, but now afterwards, looking back at it, has been very helpful, is that as a model, it's quite tough because every day you're going to castings, you're going to see clients, and all they do is that they basically judge and estimate you just from the way you look. And just from your superficial looking, just from the way they see you, and just from your outside, really. Back then, it's extremely hard when you go to a casting 10, 12 times a day, and in 95% of cases you get rejections. And you see all the other models, they're all stepping in there, and it's a big world, but in the end, it's just like in any other business, quite small. So you, after some time, you know the people, you know other models, and then you see the casting, and a few months later, you see the big campaign on all the wallpaper screens everywhere. But the model you know or you knew, and then you start thinking, okay, why is he getting the job and not me? Why is he looking better than me and not me? And on that end, I've created a very good mindset in terms of that it is most important what's happening to you. It's most important that you focus on you and you don't put too much focus on what's happening left, what's happening right, and why is this guy successful and not you successful. It's quite tough in the beginning because you start questioning yourself a lot. But then after some time, I always say you have to create a mindset a little bit like a tunnel, that you believe in anything you do, that you believe in your strengths, and you don't really care too much about what other people or why is that person doing well on this end and that. And don't get me wrong, I'm very, very generous in terms of that. I'm very happy for or very happy when
it's different. It's different. Like one jealousy, and I mean, I also feel jealousy. I have to be honest, but I see it and like. It's kind of silly. Like I want to be happy for other people, so I'm happy for other people.
Exactly.
Like, yeah. Exactly. Even if I disagree with them and I don't like them, I'm like, hey, you know what? Respect. He or she did like well. Like there's a lot of people. I'm like, hey, good job. Like
exactly. You've done something kind of my view. Right. Yeah. Right. But in the same world, sports world now, when I see other gyms, when they develop, when they evolve, and I see them, and I'm happy for them. Maybe I don't really like their program workouts, okay, but somehow they're doing a good job. And coming back to modeling, that has helped me a lot later when we build everything. And then when you grow, all of a sudden you see people, they're jealous about you, or they're saying bad things about you, or they say that they're not doing good. You don't really take that too serious to yourself. And the same, and also that if others are successful, even if they're competitors, it doesn't hurt you too much because you're really focused on you and what you do. And this is something that's been extremely helpful for me. And on the other end, also the network I could build through the whole modeling connection.
It sounds like really tough, man, the modeling. But it is. I never, you would think like, oh, modeling is so easy and you don't have to do anything, but it's like freaking hard.
It is. It looks glamorous, and it really is a great job when you really work a lot. But you always see only like the very, very little percentage of people or models who actually work frequently. And then there's probably thousands and thousands out there who don't work. And that life is actually really tough.
Yeah, that makes it, not everyone makes it. Yeah, I mean, it's the same for me. Like I'm doing this now for 2 years. I did like other stuff before. I worked for as a data analyst first at Meta, and I worked really hard to get there. And then I went to San Francisco, and then after that Canva, and did more business stuff. And I always thought about, I never have achieved enough, in a way.
Right.
But it probably helped me go far. But still, I think when you run the business, when you do that, this type of thinking is not helpful because you cannot control it. You cannot control how other people achieve certain things, particularly raising the money for the startup. So I tried to raise money. Like all the other people in Canada thought like, oh, they're not so good like me. They raised so much money. And in reality, it was the wrong narrative. I told myself, it's not about them being not so good as me. They're just different. They have a different approach. I don't know what it is. I need to focus on myself. I'm doing pretty well for myself, and that's cool, and I think I always heard this voice in me, so I was aware, which was good, I guess. But yeah, of course, I felt shit when other people have it much easier than me, but you know what's really going on. But yeah, that's something I think I appreciate you sharing, because I think many people don't know it about themselves. Yeah.
Any entrepreneur is always going through his phase, and it's extremely challenging. It's very tough because you see other people succeeding, and then you look at you, and you're probably not there yet where you want to be. And I also believe that this is very often a point where a lot of entrepreneurs and businesses fail. Then you make human mistakes. You don't think rationally about it anymore. Sometimes you think too emotional about a few things. And that's when it starts to become really, really difficult.
Yeah, 100%. So speaking about that, if you had to pick one fitness club in Vienna and it's not yours, where would you go? I can tell you where I would go. Like, no, where would you go? Which one?
I've been reading through your questions before, and I think they were really cool. I did not acknowledge that one as much. Otherwise, I would have.
I can tell you where I would go because it was the first one to go. I really like John Harris at Schillerplatz because they have this big Arnold Schwarzenegger picture there. Signed by him. It's kind of funny. They have the sauna there. It's like very old established club.
I have been to John Harris, but I don't think that specific one. Where I like to go, actually, it's probably not very well known. I think it's a great place, and that comes from a different perspective. Since I don't really train outside of my ecosystem a lot, I go to this yoga studio called Omnose yoga studio, which is probably not the typical gym club, but I really like the classes there. There is one class, Yin Yoga, which is this very like slow, more meditative kind of yoga, which I really, really like. And then I like Super Cycle a lot too. I think they're doing great work. I like the concept of workouts. I like pain boxing too. I've been there now just recently. I think they're also doing very well. So there's a lot of great other studios, other places in Vienna. I'm not a big Reformer Pilates type of guy, to be honest, but I think it's Super Cycle. It's also fame boxing is great. I've been to John Reed too. I mean, their facilities, everything is incredible. Just for me, it's too
big. It's too big. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
So these are the ones that I would say I would go to if it's not shaped by Osmose yoga, that's what it's called, Osmose, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with John Reed is too big for me as well. Yeah, I agree. And do you know any entrepreneurs who do like technology stuff in Vienna?
I do.
Who is your favorite person? Not business wise, but who do you appreciate from them?
I don't know if anyone will know him. I think the one that I appreciate the most is a very, very cool person. His name is Ferdi, and he started to work at our reception. He was a receptionist at Shape by Me. And he also studied software engineer and so on. And he, besides of Shape by Me, I'm also running now a talent management agency, which is focusing on male influencers, basically. Yeah, and he has been, he's worked the reception, and then I said, I need a website, I need an online appearance, and he helped me. And he just learned everything in, at his school, at his university, and he did a great job. And now he's also helping us in our software backend with Mindbody and our website. And I don't know anyone very specific, but he's the one who has helped me, who has worked with me, and I think I would pick him out, actually. If he ever hears this podcast, he will be very happy.
Yeah, that's nice. I mean, you need to appreciate the hustle. To me, the people I know and I worked with, I think it's in Vienna. I mean, definitely the Bitbanda guys, I think I don't understand crypto at all. It really went beside me without noticing it. And yeah, I think they did something really great. Built something
incredible.
Build something big. And Curator, like Travis, because that was my first internship, like I feel really connected to it. And then also I worked with Notarity, Jakobus Schuster. His girlfriend also has a matcha shop. I think he is really nice guy, working very hard, humble and stuff. He's awesome. Rethink Sustainability company I also worked with. And then there is a woman called Jules. So she helps other startup founders raise money and stuff like that. So she also was really, really great to work with, like really nice and helping.
A lot of
yeah, I agree. I mean, it's small.
Despite to the fact that it's probably very small.
It's small, but everyone is very helpful. And then there's also obviously Speed Invest and BFE Ventures, so like some funds and stuff. They're also there and very helpful. Yeah. Anyhow, so that's kind of it, the name dropping. But yeah, so going back to time to wrap this up. So what would you tell yourself when you're young, like 15 years old? What would you tell yourself? What would you tell young Ivo back then?
We always have this one phrase in our class, which is called keep pushing. And I think this is definitely something I would tell him. I would also tell him, definitely, absolutely. I think it's also a way of experiencing, and you make your experiences, and I think this is one of the most valuable things besides of money that you make as an entrepreneur. Experience, working with people, hiring people, establishing and succeeding with people together. And if I see you said 15 years ago, remember at the time when I was basically 16, just, going at the end of my teenage years, or basically in the middle of my teenage years, I would just tell him, keep pushing, keep believing in your dreams. A lot of challenges are going to come your way, but a lot of very, very good things too. And don't overthink a few things too much. It's always combined, and somehow, especially when you have personal challenges or personal things happening that are not so great, then you always connect them somehow with work, because then things with work will also become just way more difficult and way more exhausting. Work-wise, I would go with building and starting our first own studio. That has been extremely challenging from the start till the end, from the money, from the bank, from renovation, from everything, really, the construction. The one at Tauberstrasse, correct. Yeah, I think that has been work-wise seen the biggest challenge. Personal, it has a work connection, but it's more a personal thing, to be honest. When I decided that I will stop full-time modeling and going back to Vienna and really start from the ground and from the scratch and start Shape by Me. Imagine, we go from Manhattan, New York modeling world to go back to Vienna and start brand back then in a very tiny and little gym without anyone knowing it. And from a personal perspective, it was just that contrast was extremely difficult for me to handle in the first place. You give up everything, and you give up New York, Manhattan for a very little thing in Vienna. Not only Vienna, but like a very little idea back then. They have so much respect for you, so much respect for these people when you are in a very safe and good system in a corporate, when you make great money, and when you were able to develop that company as well. And to make that step, to go out of your comfort zone, is something that I really admire. When it comes back to personal things. Obviously, also for me, breakups from my ex-girlfriends, and Shape a bit next year will be a lot of optimizing all our studios, optimizing a lot of things that we've built throughout the last years. So next year, as I said, we do not plan to open a new studio. We plan 2 studios this year. We have 4 right now, which is already a high number, which requires a lot of resources and a lot of operative work. So next year will be all about optimizing a few things. We'll probably come up with new innovative ideas. Hyrox, as we speak, will be the only one where I could potentially see another change, or potentially even see a change of location if we have a very, very good opportunity. Other than that, I think you're going to be seeing the best version of myself next year. A very optimistic one, a very motivated one to achieve great things, and ideally to provide the best group fitness trainings in Austria.